hand function. If you have a question, please use the raise hand function or type in the chat that you have a question, and I will unmute you and call on you. So thanks again for joining us today. As a reminder, this session will be recorded and we can distribute to you as needed after we are wrapped up here. And our first guest is joining us now, place kicker Alex Kessman, after his pro day positional workout. Alex, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
And we will open it up for questions. We will start with Jerry DePaula from the Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Alex, how you doing?
Good, Jerry. How are you?
Good. Congratulations. You hit a 60-yarder today, I saw on the TV, and I was wondering, what other things do you have to prove to the NFL besides the fact you obviously have a strong, accurate leg?
Yeah, I think, inside 40. During my career, I was off and on with that, and I think my accuracy has improved throughout my training and throughout the off season, and that's been a real big focus of mine. And just slowing myself down. My pace of the ball was good today. The ones I pulled, it was just a little bit quick, and so just slowing down and really honing in on just hitting nice, clean contact with the football.
Next, we'll go to Jeff Hathorne with 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Alex. What was today like? I mean, just doing this in front of scouts, and what have you heard about opportunities you might have here this fall?
Yeah, it was a surreal moment, honestly. It was really exciting and what we dream of. The guys it was pretty lighthearted, fun. We were smiling, we were having a good time. This is what we do. This is what we want to do. And so it was a good time. What I've heard some good things from some good teams. We've had, I've had a couple interviews, and I have some set up for later on down the road, end of this week. And so it's good. I'm happy with where I'm at and what I'm capable of doing.
Go to Alex Fleming with the Florida Sun.
How you doing, Alex? Alex Fleming, Florida Sun. You know that pressure is on kickers now in the NFL because we've seen what happened to Matt Gay when he missed an easy kick. Now he's with the Rams. And we've seen what happened to Vanderjagt and Vinatieri over their long-time careers. Would you model your game to Vinatieri or Vanderjagt, or do you want to stand out and be one of the elite future kickers in the NFL?
I want to be me. I want to be me, and I think I have the ability to be an elite kicker in the NFL. And I look at those guys and look up to them, but I'm me, and I don't try to live up to anybody but myself. So I appreciate the question.
Next, and I apologize if I get the pronunciation wrong, Mateus Ornelas from Timeout Brazil.
It's a good pronunciation. It's a Brazilian name. Alex, the process for kickers and punters and it is a little different from other positions on the draft. How is for you try to be C for the other teams? You have the games, you have your tape, but how do you work for make the teams
doing, and that's kicking the football. Opportunities will present itself or themselves, and I'll take full advantage of it. And I think that today was one of those opportunities that I took advantage of. And so I have private workouts with COVID and everything. It's pretty tough, but I thought today went pretty well, and I got to kick in front of a bunch of scouts and coordinators and everyone like that, and honestly just interviews over Zoom, and that's the world that we live in right now, and I just have to make the most of that and my opportunities.
Thank you a lot. Good luck.
Thank you.
Go ahead to John McGonigal, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Yeah, Alex, how helpful has Kirk and Cal been throughout this process for you since the season ended, getting to this point? And I guess how much are you looking forward to being able to watch them next season and that new battery?
Yeah, they're my good friends, so we've stayed in contact, and I care about their success just as much as they do mine. So I'm beyond excited to watch them perform next year, and I guess this year, whatever you want to call it, but beyond excited to see them perform and see the Pitt Panthers kind of get after this year, and it'll be good looking on. So
we'll do two more. We'll go to Rich Walsh with WPXI. Or KDK, sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, was formerly, but Alex, my question is, do you or your teammates, do you guys worry about how COVID could affect being drafted or picked up at all this year? Because it's different than it's been in the past.
Honestly, Rich, I mean, we're just taking it day by day. And the guys that I talk to, the only thing that we can do is do our job. We can't worry about where we're going or how we're going to get there. Today was the first step in showing our ability to play at the next level, and I think we all did a pretty good job. COVID it's a tough year for everybody, but we just try not to worry about how we're going to get there and just take it day by day, and that will result in us getting to that next level.
We'll do last one for Thomas Carr, Cold Front Report.
Hey, Alex, kind of an off-the-wall question here, but just as the thought, kicking at an NFL stadium at Heinz Field, do you feel like that prepares you at all, gives you any advantage over kickers that kick at college stadiums or kick in environments that aren't similar to what you're going to be going into in the NFL?
Yeah, absolutely. And Heinz Field is notorious for being one of the hardest stadiums to kick in, with the river, and the wind is crazy. The ground is pretty tough and kind of beat up, but it definitely gives me an advantage. I think that I'm a cold weather kicker. I came from Michigan, went to Pittsburgh. I have crazy games in the rain and the wind, and and I don't feel like the environment really affects me as much as maybe Southern kickers or other kickers that would kick in college stadiums. So I would say yes, it does make a difference, personally for me, and I think for teams looking. So.
All right. Well, Alex, we greatly appreciate your time today, and hope you have a good rest of the day.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Everyone could be on standby. And if you have a question for Rashad, feel free to raise your hand, and we'll get to as many as we can. Sounds like offensive lineman Bryce Hargrove is on deck too here, so stay tuned and we'll have a couple of guests coming here. And there is our next guest. Lineman Bryce Hargrove has joined us. Bryce, appreciate your time today.
Sure.
We'll go ahead, open up for questions. Please raise your hand if you have a question. We will start with Jerry DePaula from the Tribune Review.
Hi, Bryce. How you doing? Good day today.
Sir, thank you.
Well, obviously you were prepared for this day physically. You did a nice job. What was it like to prepare for this day mentally and to be prepared to do it, put up with all the pressure you might have had to put up with today?
I mean, it wasn't that hard. I kind of just took it as a game day. You know, you have those nerves the night before. You have those nerves until you get done with the first play, and then it's just like you're just playing ball, you know.
Next, we'll go to John McGonigal with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Yeah, Bryce, what were you hoping to specifically prove today, in those drills and in the workouts that you did?
I just wanted to go out there and look quick. You know, I weighed in at 310, so that was heavier than I was during the season, and I wanted to show that I was even faster. You know, I believe I did that.
Brian Batgo, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Hey, Bryce. Obviously, we'll never know because he opted out this year, but after seeing what Jalen Twyman did on the bench today, what would he have done to opposing offensive linemen in 2020 if he'd been with you guys?
I mean, he killed him in 2019, you know, and he was only getting bigger, faster, and stronger. So obviously, he would have capitalized from that, you know, but he would have definitely destroyed him. He's so big and quick, you know. I actually missed him at practice, you know, because I love competing against JT.
Go to Jeff Hathorne with 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Bryce, I know coaches will talk about position flexibility. How do you feel about yours, and how do you try to show coaches you can do multiple things?
Well, I can play both the guards, and I can play right tackle. You know, I have that film here at Pitt, and also towards the end of the year, and all throughout my training, I've been working on center, so I also can play center. I can play 4 out of the 5 positions.
Next, we'll go to Jim Hammett with Panther-Lair.
Hey, Bryce, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. You know, this day is always a big day, like for the Pitt program, and you know, usually the underclassmen are watching the upperclassmen perform. How surreal was it that you're on the other side of it for the first time after, you know, probably watching from the sidelines in the past?
Yeah, I mean, from watching it the 4 years before I got here, you know, it definitely felt surreal. You know, I tried to calm my nerves and just think like this is what I work for. You know, ever since freshman year, I stepped in. This was the moment I wanted to get to. And then the 2.5 months I went training, you know, this is what I was working for, you know. So it was definitely surreal, but I kind of like soaked it in, and I'm like, all right, it's ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Fran Duffy with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, Bryce. So you talked earlier about facing Jalen in practice. I'd like to get a scouting report from your standpoint on Jalen, Patrick, and Rashad. Who of the three was the toughest for you guys in one-on-ones, 9-on-7, whatever it was, in practice on a day-to-day basis? Who was the toughest guy for you guys to handle as a unit?
I gotta pick one.
Yeah, I gotta pick one.
That's hard, man. I've gone against all of them for a while now. They all good at different things, but I probably say like power wise, JT's probably the strongest, and then Weave is the longest. So you got to do his length, and then Pat Jones is the quickest. So they all got their different things they're good at. Every time you go against them, you gotta brace. You gotta switch up what you're gonna do against all three guys. So it's just a hard decision.
And then if I could just follow up real quick, who's a guy going back to Pitt next year that, we're not talking about right now from a national standpoint, but a year from now, he's going to be sitting at the podium where you're sitting right now. We'll all be talking about him making his next step to the NFL.
Definitely some offensive line. I'll say Carter Warren, he's our left tackle from last year, and he's just coming back and seeing him. He's changed his body. He changed his attitude, and I think he's going to be ready for the season.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
We'll do a couple more here. We'll go Alex Fleming, Florida Sun.
Alex Fleming, Florida Sun. Nice to see you. In this year's draft, you got your Ben Cleveland from Georgia, Cedric Humphrey from Oklahoma. What separates you from the rest of the offensive linemen in this year's draft?
I think a lot, like obviously I feel like I'm slept on this year, but once a team gives me a chance, I'll show my difference, like I'm quick, strong, fast, and also the mental aspect, like I prepare and I'm ready when it's time to play, like I feel like that's my big gap between me and other people is just the mental aspect.
We'll do two more quickly here, Bryce. We'll go to Gonzalo Fabry with No Huddle.
Hey, here from Argentina, Gonzalo Fabry, how are you? I want to ask you, who is your role model at the professional level?
I mean, it's hard. I watch a lot of that. Funny that you say that. Like now that I'm playing college football and I'm trying to take that next step, every game I watch, I really only watch the offensive line. Like I don't watch the ball, I don't watch the quarterback, the running backs. So I like the guys from the guards from Cleveland. Is it Bentino and then Wyatt Teller? I watch them a lot. The left guard from the Bengals, I try to use a lot of his techniques, so, and also Quentin Nelson is just great to watch, if you want to learn how to improve your game, you can watch his film.
Last one, we'll go to Mateus Orneas from Timeout Brazil.
Bryce, good afternoon. Mateus from Brazil. You talk about the last questions about can be a guy can play both guards, can be right tackle, can be center. How is for you, and how you think that the NFL look for this new offensive line that can do a lot and not sticky to one position?
That's important. That's how you make a team. That's how you make the active roster. That's how you get on the field, being flexible and being able to do multiple positions, which I've done since day one at Pitt. I didn't even play offensive line, and then I got here, and I'm playing tackle, I'm playing guard, I'm learning center. So it takes you a long way.
Thank you.
Bryce, thanks for your time today, Bryce. Really appreciate it, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you, guys.
We do have other guests lined up here on deck. So I believe Jimmy Morrissey and Rashad Weaver both standing by. Our next guest will be another offensive lineman, Jimmy Morrissey, Earlsworth Trophy winner. Jimmy, thanks for joining us.
Of course. How you doing, RJ? What's up, guys?
Doing well. Got a bunch of raised hands here, so we'll start off with Jerry DePaula from the Tribune Review.
Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry. How you doing, Jim? Sorry.
I'm doing great. A little tired. How are you doing?
I'm sure you are. Obviously you were physically ready for today, Jimmy. But what was the mental preparation like? And did you feel any pressure out there to perform?
I didn't feel pressure just because I've been preparing for it for so long. But mental preparation was just like a game. Went through my visualization, did some mindfulness this morning. But just like a game, you practice for it for so long, and then you got to go out and execute. So I'm lucky that I've had a lot of reps at games. So
go ahead, Rich Walsh, KDK.
Hey Jim, a couple questions. Do you have any idea where you think you might go in the draft would be my first question. And my second one is, are you worried at all how COVID maybe affects the draft process this year, or any of your teammates? Have you talked about it at all?
So one, Rich, I don't know where I'm going to go. I told my agent, Jason, I don't want to hear it. It's not going to one way. I'm drafted in the first round or the seventh round. It's not going to affect the way I work or prepare for this upcoming season. And two, no, I'm not worried about COVID. It's been almost a year now. And I don't want to say I'm not worried about COVID. I'm not worried about the way the NFL is going to handle COVID is what I meant to say. College football has done a great job and the NFL has done a great job to make the seasons happen. So I don't have any doubt that they'll be able to run a successful draft this year.
We'll go to Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Hey, Jim. I noticed you decided to go no shirt for the 40. Do you feel like that made you faster? And how much faster? And sort of making light of that, but as a lineman, like, how much does a 40 matter? I mean, you're not ever going to run 40 yards down the field. How much did you pay attention to it, and how much do you think it matters in this process?
All right, I'll answer that. I knew someone was going to mess with me about that. So I worked out in Pensacola, Florida. So every time I was working out outside, I always had my shirt off, and so I was just like, might as well. And I ran in my compression, so I was like, I'm gonna play how I practice. So that's why I did that for the 40. And then I don't know. It matters because we have to do it. So I did work on it, just like everything else I did today. Been preparing for it. So, no, I probably will never run a 40 ever again in my life. And I hope that the 10-yard split means more, because I think my 10-yard split was more impressive than my overall 40. But I'm glad it's over with. I'm ready to start training for football instead of sprinting 40 yards.
Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Jim. First, I'm curious what you thought of Jalen's bench. And then I also wanted to ask you mentioned there's so much film on you. What can you show teams over today or over the next couple of weeks that could tilt it in your direction, or it could, make them feel better about you?
Yeah, JT's a beast. No surprise there. Was really happy for him to put up 40 or 41. What teams, what I'm trying to do right now through Pro Day and, the interview process with the coaches and scouts that I'm meeting with is just, show them my intangibles, things that you won't be able to see on the field, being able to pick up an offense quick, going out and executing that, which I hope I showed at the Senior Bowl, learning the playbook in a night and then going out and playing all three interior positions. But, yeah, definitely just show, my leadership, my football IQ, and, my savviness with the game of football, and, how I prepare and be able to communicate that to, these front office guys and all these coaches.
John McGonigal, Post-Gazette, go ahead.
Yeah, Jimmy, it's a big group of you guys that's taking this next step, that's looking to get drafted. What was it like, just getting to this point today personally, but kind of within that group, within the group of Rashad and Patrick and all those guys?
It's been a great experience. It's something that ever since 2016, when I went and watched the Pro Day in 2017 and 18, something that I've dreamt of to get to this level, and, still a lot of work to do, but I was happy to do it with all those guys. And, there was a big number of us out there, which we're fortunate. We've had some, a lot of talented players come through here. So, it was a great day and an overall, good experience.
A couple more. We do have some other guests on deck here. We'll go Brian Batgo with the Post-Gazette.
Hey, Jimmy. Congrats on the scholarship that Bostic kind of scooped on the Pro Day broadcast. But speaking of that, I wanted to ask you, the teams that you have talked to or that have expressed interest either at the Senior Bowl or since then, how much do you get asked about your backstory, the walk-on storyline, and all of that?
I think it's come up in almost every single interview, whether it's with a coach or scout. But yeah, it comes up because it speaks, I was a walk-on. It's part of who I am, and that chip on my shoulder has stayed there, and it still is there to this day. But it speaks to what kind of player I am too. My fighting mentality. I'm extremely tough to kill, and I don't give up easily. And no matter where I'm at, I'm going to scratch and claw to get to where I want to be. So speaking about my backstory, being a walk-on and then turning into a 4-year starter, it comes up frequently. And, I just always reiterate how lucky I am with the opportunity University of Pittsburgh has given me.
We'll do two more. Go ahead, Fran Duffy, Philadelphia.
Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? You talked about the Senior Bowl experience. Take us through what was that process like for you? How early in the week, or I should say late in the week, did you kind of get alerted that you would have to make that drive down there to Mobile? And just take us through the preparation process.
Yeah, so I finished my workout Friday morning, got home, got a call from my agent, and, he patched through Jim Nagy on a three-way call. Jim, said, hey, sorry we couldn't invite you earlier. We think you're a heck of a player, but if you want to, we would love to have you down here for the game. And Panthers coaches said they could get you up to speed. So obviously no hesitation. I've been waiting for that call. So I packed a quick bag, and Mobile was like an hour and 15 from Pensacola. And so I got the call at 11:30. I was in the hotel by 1 o'clock. So I made it in there an hour and a half, grabbed a quick bite to eat, packed my bag and headed over there. I had to wait like 3.5 hours for a COVID test though. So I missed a lot of the meetings and the walkthrough. I didn't get any of that. And then Coach Brando Jr. and Coach Pat Meyer, the O-line coaches, spent about half hour with me. And then they gave me a playbook to take up to my room. I grabbed a to-go dinner and the playbook, studied up, woke up the next morning, got my breakfast and my ankles taped, and then played some ball. So it was a great experience. And, I wouldn't have changed it. So it was able to show, my football IQ and how, I'm versatile, able to play all three interior positions, and I can pick up an offense that quickly.
You were there for a day, but did one guy stand out to you in terms of just the way that you had to match up with him when you were down there?
My boy Weave. I want to get Weave a lot. Pat too. Both fantastic players. So it was fun to go against them.
We'll do the last one. Evan Shanker.
Hey Jimmy, how are you?
I'm good, Evan.
Good. So as we've seen a lot in the NFL recently, guys like J.C. Tretter, the recently retired Marquise Pouncey, your best ability is availability. And you went through most of your college career, minus the one, was it your sophomore or junior year with injuries. What has been the key to your success in really being able to play all games throughout the season, keep yourself healthy? Because I feel like that's really going to help you. Do you think that's really going to help you translate over to a long career in the NFL?
Most definitely. I think I've had some good role models here, starting with, Brian O'Neill, my redshirt freshman year. He was my tackle, and he really, showed me the way to, prepare, take care of the little things. They pay huge dividends on the back end. So I think, the combination of my consistent preparation and the same routine every single day has helped me excel and improve consistently. So I think it definitely will help me, and I already think I have a pro routine, but I know there are a lot of things I will have to improve upon when I get to the league. But I think the combination of my preparation and my consistent routine definitely have helped me, sustain my level of play.
All right, Jimmy, we'll wrap it up there with you. Really appreciate your time today. Congrats on your success and best of luck moving forward.
Thanks, RJ. Good.
Jim, what was your 10-yard split?
168.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Appreciate you, Jimmy.
Thank you. Good seeing you all.
Apologies if we didn't get to your question. Do you want to keep it moving with our rather large list of pro day guests here? A lot of hands raised. If you already asked your question and don't have another question, if you could lower your hand, it would make it easier to call on folks. But I believe our next guest should be joining us in a second. Patrick Jones and Rashad Weaver are both there or about the interview room. Looks like Mr. Jones, defensive end edge rusher Patrick Jones II is joining us now. Patrick, thanks for your time.
No problem.
We'll go ahead and open up for questions, and we'll start with Jerry once again. Go, Jerry.
Patrick, congratulations on a good day. They said on TV that you tweaked your hamstring. How were you still able to run the 40 with a tweaked hamstring?
Yes, sir. I tweaked it at about the 30-yard line. I felt like I got off pretty good, and my start was pretty good, but I tweaked it towards the end, and I slowed down. I wasn't able to finish through full speed.
Have you done the 40 in better times than that, obviously, than what it was for the 4.8?
Yes, sir. That wasn't my best time at all. I'm way faster than that.
We'll go to Jim Hammett with Panther-Lair.
Patrick, obviously the NFL Combine is a once in a lifetime opportunity and you can't go to Indianapolis, but how did it feel to have your big showcase day kind of among your teammates in Pittsburgh in the facility that you were playing in the past 5 years?
Yeah, yes, sir. It felt good just being out there when I was able to do what I could do, just being around all my teammates and just being back out there with all of them again, just having a morale with everybody and everything. It was just a great feeling.
We got Will Graves, Associated Press.
Hey, I'm curious, what was your emotions just seeing JT in person and seeing him, ball out like that at the same time, knowing that maybe a little bit, disappointed you didn't get a chance to actually play with him last fall?
Oh, it's always great seeing JT, and I kind of knew he was gonna do that. Me and him been talking. I know how hard he worked. We used to work out every day, doing quarantine together. So I expected it. I knew he was gonna come out there and put on the show. That's what JT does.
John McGonigal, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Yeah, Pat, were you training down in Virginia in preparation for this? And second part, the conversations with teams so far has been more, relation to you being a defensive end or an outside linebacker?
Yes, sir. So, yeah, I've been training in Dallas, Texas, the XOs. Yeah, that's why I've been doing all my work at. Looking at me as a 3-4 outside linebacker a lot. So that's why I was kind of disappointed. I wasn't able to go out there and do all the drills I wanted to do. I wanted to really show them how I could move and how I could catch and do stuff, but unfortunately it didn't go as planned. So,
Rich Walsh, KDK.
Patrick, I wanted to ask a couple of the other guys about COVID. Do you guys worry that it affects where you might be drafted and how you're viewed and people coming to see you, or you guys are all comfortable with, how it's different this year?
Yes, sir. It's not really anything you could worry about. It's kind of one of those uncontrollable things. It's not something you could really worry about too much. You just have to trust that everybody knows what they're doing, that's doing what they're doing. So it's just one of those things can't really worry about it too much.
Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Yeah, Pat, just when you talk to these teams, what do you feel like is the feedback you're getting from them? And what are they saying that they like about your game? Or maybe what are they saying that they wanted to see from you today?
Yes, sir. They said when I was talking to the teams, it's pretty much us going over the film. And I just do a real good job. I feel like breaking the defense down and just explaining to them and showing the teams I'm really a student of the game. And that's something that they really could tell from the interviews over FaceTime. And that's something I'm trying to prove to everybody. I'm more than just an athlete. I'm also a student of the game.
Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Patrick, how do you feel your skills translate to outside linebacker? And during your times at Pitt, did you ever watch Dupree or Watt and feel like maybe you picked up some things from just watching them?
Yes, sir. I feel like I could do perfectly fine at outside linebacker. At the end of the day, I feel like I play football. I could line up anywhere, and I'll go to work and play ball. That's what I do. I play football. And yes, I watch a lot of T.J. Watt film. T.J. Watt's a great player. I watch his film as much as I can.
And Amanda Phillips-Chikatsi.
Hi, Patrick. When you were training for today, was there any one thing specifically that you were looking to improve upon, and did you make any improvements to that thing?
Yes, man. So yeah, I was trying to improve on my 40. I really want to show everybody how fast I was, and it really hurt me that I couldn't finish at full speed. I really want to show everybody my speed, and I wanted to show everybody how much I could bend doing the position drills. I wanted to show them my bend. I wanted to show everybody that I could drop in the coverage, I could play linebacker, but unfortunately, I couldn't do none of that today.
We'll just do a couple more here. Go ahead, Dan Wolkenstein. Nope, he dropped off. Brian Batgo, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Patrick, which teams from the NFL have talked to you the most so far through this process? I know there's still a long way to go, but who have you thorough conversations with for now?
Yes, I talked to a lot of teams. I talked to the Jags a lot. I talked to them a lot. I talked to the Lions. I talked to the it's just hard to pick. I talked to the Bengals a lot. I talk to a lot of teams, but those are the top three of the those are the three off the top of my head that I talk to a lot, multiple times.
We'll do two more here. We'll go back to Dan. You had a question?
I did. Hey, Patrick. Dan Wilkenstein from the Brawl Network here. I think in the NFL, people are really looking for folks with versatility. I know we play 3-4, 4-3, edge, linebacker. Talk about just your versatility with getting around the edge, but also being able to drop in coverage.
Oh yes, sir. I could get around the edge, pass rush. I mean, that's on my film, and I feel like I could drop in the coverage too. That's not something I really had opportunity to put a lot on film, but that's something I'm very comfortable doing. That's something I trained a lot in the off season. Yes, sir.
We'll give the last one to Alex Fleming, Florida Sun.
Alex Fleming, Florida Sun. How you doing today, young man?
Doing good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Due to recent events and seeing how easily someone's name could be tarnished in the media cycle, what have you and your group done to make sure that you're ready to take the next step in the NFL? And have you spoken to people about the future after the NFL game is over?
Oh yes, sir. I mean, all you could do is work hard. I mean, people are gonna say what they want at the end of the day, but if you work hard, your hard work is gonna always prove them wrong, and the results of hard work is always gonna be something good, because when you put in that work, it's gonna give it back to you. So that's all you can really do. And yes, I talked to a lot of people about what I could do at the NFL, but right now I'm just trying to get in the NFL. That's my main focus right now. So that's been the main thing on my mind.
All right, Patrick, greatly appreciate your time today. Best of luck going forward, and congrats on all your success.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Again, apologies if we didn't get to your question. We have a couple other guests on deck here. I believe DeMar Hamlin in the vicinity.
We're gonna chair swivels a little bit. You're good.
DeMar's all set. Appreciate you joining us today, DeMar.
Thanks for having me.
We'll go ahead. First question for Jerry DePaula, Tribune Review.
Hi, DeMar. Congratulations on a good day. What kind of feedback have you gotten before today from other NFL teams? Have you've been talking to you a lot, and what kind of feedback do you get from your agent about where you might get picked?
Well, personally, me, I really haven't been feeding into where I'm gonna get picked. I know once that weekend's over, I know I'm gonna be on the team, and it's about what you do when you get there. So I'm not too caught up on where I land. But as far as feedback on like before today, teams have just been saying they know I'm a smart player, real instinctive. They know I'm a leader, and they've been hearing nothing but great things from me.
We'll go Chris Carter, DK Pittsburgh Sports.
DeMar, your versatility was always an asset to you. In college, you could line up almost anywhere. When you look at yourself on tape, and now you're working on everything during this off season. What's the thing that you say, hey, I got to work on this the most to make myself even more versatile as I get ready for the NFL?
One thing outside of athletically, I would say just being a student of the game, which I already feel I am, but you never can stop learning. So just educating myself as much as I can on the next level, and getting around some vets like while I was training, just picking the vets' brains on things that got them to be in the league for so long. Just picking up on all those small habits that could take me a long way and have me as a 10-year vet one day. That's probably the most important part. Everything athletically, I feel like that just comes with coming to practice every day, working hard.
John McGonigal, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Yeah, DeMar, how pleased were you with the 4.640? And was that around where you were clocking it in training?
I heard 4.56. That's what I heard. But
so 4.56. Are you happy with that then?
Yeah, I was pleased with that. That's about around the time I was running that training. That's what I really wanted to get. That's what coaches wanted to see from me, like, mid 4.5. So it's right around the lines where I wanted to be.
Stay at Pittsburgh Post-Gazette with Brian Batgo.
Mar, who are some of those veterans that you mentioned that have been helping you or that you've been training and working with to prepare yourself for the next level?
I was around Maurice Jones-Drew. He was down there training. That's a super vet, somebody who's seen it every way possible. Also, Poyer, the safety for the Bills, you know, and just having Dane down there, just having Dane play with him, he was able to just get a better feel for me and, you know, like a little bit about my background, give me a little bit more advice. Also, Xavier Rhodes, that was another guy who was just taking his time out personally. That was just, you know, working on technique with us and just giving us the game.
Go to Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Jim Nagy just said 4.59 tomorrow, so we'll take his word for it. But it's pretty good. You know, with the defense you guys play at Pitt, with you playing so much quarters and so much off-ball coverage of slot guys, like, do you feel like, you know, teams that maybe play a lot of cover two or play a lot of, you know, slot man that maybe haven't seen you do what they're going to be asking you to do on tape a whole lot, do you feel like proving your athleticism today is important for having those teams really want to take an interest in you?
Yes, sir. I do feel that way. I couldn't wait to get till today, especially to run and to do the position drills as well. But, you know, I didn't get to do a lot of that here. We ran a little bit of cover two here and there. But, you know, down at the Senior Bowl, we got to run some one high. We got to run some cover two. So, you know, the proof is in the pudding right there. They could check that tape and just see me move in their schemes.
Good. Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, DeMar, you go from a couple of years ago where college coaches were coming after you to now you kind of selling yourself to coaches. What do you tell coaches in the NFL that they're getting from Damar Hamlin?
Well, one thing I say, you know, I really keep it outside of athletic ability because, you know, everybody in the NFL has that. I would say I'm a natural born leader. I'm a player that's going to make everybody else around me better. I'm a team player. I'm an asset to the organization's brand.
Amanda, go ahead if you're ready.
Damar, you could have left after last season and you chose to come back for another year. How do you feel your game improved over this last season?
Really, I feel like I improved just being a student of the game, really just learning why teams are doing what they're doing against us and why they don't do certain stuff against us. You know, like say they play a team that runs a lot of one high cover one, you know, we're really not necessarily a true one high team. So they're going to run different plays to different teams and different schemes. And so just really becoming a student of the game, I give all credit to my position coach, Coach Corey Sanders, when it comes to that, just helping me understand the game a little bit more as a coach. So going on that field, everything's just happening a little bit slower just because I got that knowledge as if I'm a coach.
We'll take a couple more. Go ahead, John Shear.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
Do you think you're the best defensive back in the draft?
Yes, sir.
Do you think you should be the first defensive back off the board?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go to Fran Duffy in Philadelphia.
Hey, Damar, how's it going? You competed your butt off and down at the week's worth of practice.
Well, you know, one person I would say is I'm shooting a blank on names right now. I don't know why. I would say we had a receiver from South Dakota State.
Yep, Kay Johnson.
Yep, Kay Johnson, and a receiver from Western Michigan.
Yep, D. Eskridge.
Yep, D. Eskridge. I don't know why I forgot their names like that. I was cool with them down there. Yep. So D and K, you know, they were really in the slot guys. They were giving us great work, you know, as far as one-on-ones, and you know, they were making some plays on the ball. And as far as even, you know, perimeter blocking drills, they were just giving a great look, great effort, you know, like they're all around great players and not just one-dimensional.
And then my last question for you is just for the guys that are coming back to Pitt next year, is there a guy that stands out to you that you're like, all right, you know, you guys nationally are going to all be talking about him from an NFL draft standpoint a year from now?
Yes, sir. I got a few for you. So in my room, the back end, I would definitely say Damari Mathis. You know, if he had a season with us last year, he would already be gone now. He would be coming out with us. So he'll definitely be a first, second round pick next year. Also, Marquez Williams, the other corner. He'll be a great one. Everyone in the back end, Brandon Hill, Justin Talander. Also, Servassier Dennis, he's a linebacker. I think he finished like third team all ACC last year, but he led us in TFLs. Cam Bright, Kalaja Cansey. That's just some names I can just spit off the top right there.
All right, thanks, Tamar.
We'll go one more to Thomas Carr.
Hey, DeMar, we've talked a lot about your versatility and what you do in the mental aspect of what you do on the field. Where do you see yourself fitting, and what position do you think you fit in at the next level?
Wherever needed. Like I said, I feel like I'm a team player. I'll do anything to go in day one, rookie season, to help a team win, whether it's free safety, slot corner, outside corner, punt team, kickoff team. I just want to be somewhere on that 53-man roster and making plays.
All right, DeMar, greatly appreciate your time today. Congrats on your success, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you. Appreciate you, RJ.
Sure. And I believe our next guest will be Rashad Weaver. Roll through our list of Pitt Pro Day. And there's Mr. Weaver. Rashad, thanks for joining us.
Yo, how are y'all?
Doing well. We'll go ahead and give the first one to Jerry DePaula, Tribune Review.
Rashad, congratulations on a good day. Obviously, you were physically ready for today, but what was the mental preparation like, and did you feel any pressure out there?
What up, Jerry, man? I'm missing y'all. After the game, but Arizona, don't know anybody out there, don't know anything, and that's what they went out there. I went out there and they took care of me. I put in the work and they put in the work into me, and it paid off. And today I was just excited to get out there and show what I did. I mean, a little nervous just because you train 3 months for a bunch of drills that take 5 seconds, but besides that, I was ready, and my numbers, I'm happy with some of them. Some of them just in competitive me. I always want more because I know I had more or better. So, but it was a good day, and I'll take overall happy with it.
Got a lot of raised hands here. We'll get to as many as possible. John McGonigal, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Go ahead.
Hey, Rashad, is it kind of surreal that there are so many of you out there today, and then obviously within the draft, potentially getting drafted, getting to the next? Is it kind of crazy that the group is that big?
I mean, not at all. I mean, I think 6 of us was from defense, and if we watch the games and watch our defense, you wouldn't expect much less, especially with us being seniors and redshirt seniors, and those offensive guys are ballers down the whole line, and then DJ Turner. So I mean, when you watch the tape, all the guys that are out there today are guys that make plays and stand out, and will do it on Sunday. So it's not too much of a surprise. More just being happy back out there around my teammates, guys I'm comfortable with.
Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Rashad, Patrick was telling us that he's getting some looks or being talked to about as an outside linebacker. Is that something that they are asking you about that skill set? And if so, how would you feel you would be in that position?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Teams hit me up about that, but you got to realize where the NFL is at right now. It's not really a true outside linebacker like it was years ago. And these 3-4 defenses aren't really 3-4s. It's 3 down big D linemen and then 2 DNs that are standing up. So the outside linebacker is TJ Watt and Bud Dupree. Dudes that are rushing the passer, get in the backfield, and every once in a while got to cover a flat or a hook to curl. They're not running down the field on slot receivers. So obviously, yeah, I've got plenty of talks about that just because that's where the NFL is going, and that's the position I play, an edge rusher, and pretty much outside linebacker is the new DN. You don't really see true DN unless the few teams that run a true 4-3, but it's just fading away.
Good. Will Graves, Associated Press.
I'm just curious, what was it like seeing JT out there today? And was there a part of you that just, as you're watching him work, thinking, God, it would have been kind of great to have him out there with us last fall?
Yeah, I mean, I talk to JT all the time, FaceTime him, so it's not like I hadn't been talking to him and seen him. Obviously, seen him in person. It's always good. That's my guy. Love forever. We both in the D-line room, and that's something we built together, and we on the walls in there forever. So to see him and see what he could do and put up numbers like that on the bench and stuff like that, I was proud of him. And I mean, it's always a what if, but my man did what was best for him at the time, and I think I'll rock out with any decision he make.
Good. Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Outside linebacker. I thought you were a D tackle after that Senior Bowl performance. What do you think your, do you feel like your body type, though, lends itself to some versatility where you could play, like an outside nine, you could play inside a little bit if they ask you to? And do you feel like that's an advantage when you're thinking about teams, being able to see you as a fit in their defense?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I got out there at Senior Bowl, that was the first time I ever got in three tech in my life. Y'all should have seen Tuesday. I was getting lifted off the ground. Boy, I didn't know what I was doing. But after I watched some film, cleaned some things up, just added it to my resume and my confidence. And I felt like if I practiced it, same with outside linebacker, resume, versatility, I could get knocked outside or knocked down to the inside, and just about as much as you can do. They only get 53 guys. This isn't college where you get a bunch, so they want as much as you can do.
Christopher Carter, DK Pittsburgh Sports.
Rashad, we were just talking about your versatility and being able to move into the three technique. You posted a 6.98 three-cone drill time, according to Jim Nagy. That would have been the second fastest three-cone time last year in last year's combine amongst defensive linemen. Your explosiveness off the ball and your way to counter guys, you faced a lot of really good tackles in the ACC, and you've beaten a lot of them. What do you think about your explosiveness and that agility that contributes most to your game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an edge player. Obviously, everybody wants to run these 4.5s, 40s, all these fast 40s, which obviously that's a great thing. But when's the last time I ran 40 yards in the field? If I'm chasing a dude 40 yards downfield, it ain't a good play for the defense. But I can bend the edge and I can stay low and I can get out of there. And I mean, honestly, boys, lucky I slipped on the first rep, because my first rep I was moving. I slipped on my first rep was perfect, my first two line touches, and I slipped around the thing. But to put up that time, I mean, naturally I've always been good at the shuttle and three cones, so practicing it and coming out with the adrenaline, I'm super happy with that. I was going for around the 7 flats, which would have been super good, but broke 7s. And just what I do, try to play off the edge, be able to bend, stay low, and run at the same time. And I think that just shows that I check those boxes. There shouldn't be any questions there when you're looking for an edge player.
Jim Hammett with Panther-Lair.
Hey, Rashad, I talk to a lot of high school recruits, and, every kid I talk to is always like, I know Aaron Donald went to Pitt, and that's a big deal to them. And how do you feel that you and Pat and Jalen, getting drafted could now be a toll for Pitt on the recruiting trail, saying like, hey, these guys got drafted after working hard here?
Definitely. That are highly recruited or going to be great players in here to make the team better. I want to be able to tune in and watch a D-line, get a lot of sacks, break all the records we get picked higher than me, be All-American, be a unanimous All-American on all 5 teams. I want to see everybody be better than me, and so if I can add to that list and get guys to come here, I'll be proud to tune in and know I played a part in that.
Brian Batgo, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Hey, Rashad, anybody who plays at Pitt gets kind of a unique look at life in the NFL, being right next to the Steelers. Have you had many interactions with Steelers staffers, players over the years, or do you feel like there is more familiarity with you and them, or vice versa going into this process?
I mean, definitely, from Coach Tomlin to the players, even players like James being from here and then went there, just getting to see them, whether you're brushing shoulders with them, just general talking, or watching them practice, or them coming to the indoor and catching the indoor practice, and then seeing how, they're within the city, seeing how they are outside of football, walking through the parking lot, seeing the cars and the lifestyle they live, and just getting used to it so it's not being a surprise. And getting blown back when you first get back to a team and thinking you have to act a certain type of way or compete and stuff like that. You kind of learn a little bit how it goes just being around it.
Amanda, go ahead.
Hi, Rashad. When you began your training, was there any one specific area that you were focused on improving before the drills today?
Yeah, I mean, definitely just naturally I wanted to do the best I could in every drill because everyone is being looked at. But if I just had to tell you, I'd say it'd be my 40, which, I wanted better than what I got today, but what it's compared to when I got out there is miles and miles better. And same with my broad jump, things that people look at broad jump got a lot better. So I was looking at that. And then that three cone, like I said, I've always been good at that. But the training on top of that for an edge player is something teams really like, show your bend and your lean and stuff like that. So I was excited to get out there and show that off.
We'll do two more. Go ahead, Alex Fleming, Florida Sun.
Rashad, Alex Fleming, Florida Sun. First and foremost, describe what this moment means to you right now and to you and your family. And then my second question, considering that you're a hybrid, edge rusher dash outside linebacker, what would be your game plan on covering a tight end? So Travis Kelce.
Yeah, can you say the first part again? I ain't gonna lie, I got lost in the sauce. That was a long question.
All right, question number one, describe what this moment means to you right now, knowing that you're about to meet your dreams and break through to the NFL. Question number two, how would a hybrid player like you cover a tight end like Travis Kelce?
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just glad pro day over. I was getting tired of training for 3 months just for this stuff. But I'm just a day by day type of guy. Sometimes I don't really sit back and look at what I've done myself or how close I am, just because like I'm living my life. I play football. I train. I do that. Like I've been doing it since I've been playing football since I was 3. I've been training every day since I've been in college. So it's just part of my life. So sometimes I don't sit back and look at it from the outside view. So it'll be an exciting moment, but it'll really hit me all on draft day, and y'all will probably see some tears. I wish I could keep them in, but I'm be acting like a big baby. So you'll see how much it means then. But right now, I'm not, the work's not done. You know, I'm training now for when I have to show up for camp and have my body in better shape and my technique and stuff in better shape. And then, I mean, he's a football player just like me. He just been in the league before I ever got there, but he's a tight end. And as a defensive end, coaches and yourself, you treat a tight end like a tight end. So if it's in the run game, you got to bully him. That's your job. And if it's in the pass, obviously he's an elite player, best tight end. When in practice weekend, how they teach me to practice it and put my best foot forward on that.
We'll go last one to
for your pro day. If you watch your numbers, do you think that these numbers is gonna help you during this draft process? And how do you learn about the injury that you have in 2019?
Yeah, so I mean the numbers, it's all about the film. The numbers matter. You know, they like seeing production. That's important. At the same time, they're looking at what you did on plays where you don't make the play, or great technique where you change the backfield so other people can make plays. So I think I got the film, you know, other guys. And so, you know, again, I just always want more for myself. So they weren't my marks I wanted, but I could be happy with it. And then what was the second part of the question about the injury?
What do you learn about the injury that you suffered in 2019?
Yeah, I mean, with the injury, it is what it is. It's like a new knee, man. I got a new tire over there. It feel better than my other knee, but I guess I just learned patience. Besides that, again, I'm is what it is type of guy. Day by day, I had check marks every day. I knocked out rehab and came back how I wanted to. But I just had to learn patience because I was ready in 2019 to put up that same type of season or a better season, being All-American. The work was already put in that off season. So I just had to, you know, mentally teach myself patience, just sit back and not let missing games and being out there with my brothers and getting recognition for my playing skills and stuff like that get to me. That would just be the biggest thing is patience.
Thank you a lot. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, Rashad, we appreciate your time today. Best of luck moving forward, and it's been a pleasure having you, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Rashad.
Thank you.
I think Jalen Twyman is on standby. JT, good to see you.
Long time no see.
I know. Fresh off 40 reps in a heck of a pro day. We'll go ahead and open up for questions for Mr. Twyman. We'll start off with Jerry DiPaolo, Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Jalen's good to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you too, Jerry.
Tell me what this past fall it was like for you, not playing football. I'm sure, obviously, you were prepared for today physically. But what kind of things did you do, and how closely did you follow what was going on up here in Pittsburgh?
I probably remember almost every play that happened last season. You know, I was talking to those guys before every game. You know, I cried the first couple games. I definitely was missing them a lot. You know, I was watching them. I'm just grateful for their support that they gave me when I came back.
Go ahead, John McGonigal, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Jalen, good to see you, man. We saw after your bench press, obviously got a little emotional, yelling and screaming a bit, getting pretty hyped. How long were you waiting for that? I mean, it was throughout the process, right? Sitting out this season, waiting for pro day. How kind of excited were you to get to this?
I was definitely excited. You know, I was just trying to show that all the work that I've been putting in, you know, and the pain that I have built up, you know. But, you know, I was just trying to just put my best foot forward. You know, when I got up on the bench, I was just reminding everybody that I didn't warm up. So I just got up there, did a little arm circles, and got up under there. I ain't touched no pre-weight or nothing.
We go Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Jalen, what was, you know, I guess the biggest motivation for you to sit out this season, and as the year went on, you know, you mentioned missing the guys, or maybe now that you're getting some feedback from teams about where you might get drafted, how do you kind of evaluate that decision for yourself, and have you had any second thoughts about it?
You know, I was just trying to help my mom and my little brothers, you know, financially. So whatever happens in April happens, you know. I mean, my team showed great gratitude towards me, you know. They felt as if I wasn't selfish at all, you know, so it's in God's hands now.
Go ahead, Will Graves, Associated Press.
Dylan, I'm curious, you know, how nervous were you about today? And, you know, I mean, you had a great season last year, but it was sort of just this one pocket of film. As you were going back and watching your guys play, did you ever think, God, I mean, might have been a better idea to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 games on tape? And did you feel today, I've got to show these guys that I haven't been sitting at home playing PlayStation the last 5 months?
Yeah, I definitely was trying to show that, you know, I just haven't been sitting at home. But I know for a fact if I'd have played this year with them two dudes running off the edge and them great DBs, you know, I feel like my numbers would have been better than last year. Definitely with the, you know, the teammates that I had around me. You know, you adding in Rashad Weaver and Kalijah Cansey, you know, the sacks would have just been falling in my laps. I wouldn't have had to have worked as hard as I did last year, for sure.
Good. Rich Walsh, KDK.
Jalen, you talked about seeing what's going to happen in April. What do you think's going to happen? And do you think that today helped your draft stock?
After talking with my agents and stuff, you know, the things that I did well at, you know, we're going to try to put that as forward. And I feel like, you know, they said today was a win. So, you know, I'm excited for draft day. I've got a wide range of different ways it could go. You know, I'm just keeping my head down and praying, and we'll see.
Jalen, what teams have you been talking to?
It's too many to name. You know, I didn't talk to probably around about 23.
We got Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Jalen, obviously you're able to lift while you were away, but what were you able to do to get better, and how valuable do you think it was for you to have that family time before you go off and start your career?
Honestly, I didn't even have no family time. Once I opted out, I probably was home for 2 weeks trying to decide what agent I was going to go with. And September 1st, I've been in Florida ever since. I mean, in November, I went to D.C. to pass out turkeys in the neighborhood that I grew up in, and I came home from Christmas to see my mom. But, you know, I've been training for over 200 days straight, so it's been working.
Good. Christopher Carter, DK Pittsburgh Sports.
Jalen, when you come off a year like you did in 2019, and you have an entire football season, you got to stay in shape but also get stronger. What were the things that you said, hey, I got to maintain these strengths, but then you had to improve these areas during this offseason? And do you feel like you've done that as now you just saw yourself in a pro day?
Yeah, definitely. You know, one of my main focus with my trainer, Sean Washington, who's been doing all my bench press prep and stuff like that. And with the House of Athletes, you know, we were talking about me talking with everybody for like, you know, I did that today.
Got Amanda?
Hi, Jalen. What can you say, or I guess, what has it meant to you to have Aaron Donald go from being your role model to your mentor? And how has he helped you improve when you've been working with him?
You know, he's been just telling me to keep my head down and stuff like that and keep working. To see somebody with that type of value, but also with that work ethic, you know, is like unmatched. You know, I done been around since I opted out. I've been around tons of the top NFL guys that's, you know, the 1%ers, but nobody works like him or nobody as humble as him. So ever since I've been watching him since I was 14, you know, I've been trying to mimic everything he do, which way he ties you and everything. So it's definitely paid off.
Do a couple more. Brian Batgo, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Hey, Jalen, have you heard much from the Steelers? And just more big picture, do you think you could play in a 3-4 scheme? Because I know when Aaron was coming out, that was kind of one of the questions that people had about him is you know, is he kind of a strictly 4-3 guy just based on his size?
You know, as humble as I can say, I feel like I showed my strengths that I could play anywhere on the defensive line, you know, throughout my 10-yard split and what I did on the bench. You know, I showed that I could play all four, wherever they need me on the defensive line.
Go ahead, Matt Baker in Tampa.
How did you get better over the last 6 months compared to if you've been playing a normal season?
You know, my agility working with Chuck Smith and Pete Jenkins. Like Brian said before, with that 3-4 scheme, you know, Pete Jenkins is a real big two-guy type of guy. You know, he coached at LSU, one of the great defensive line coaches. So, you know, him transitioning my game, you know, if I fall anywhere to a 3-4 team, just me being versatile. So we've been working on that a lot and stuff like that, and me, you know, improving my run game and being consistent.
We'll do two more. Evan Shanker.
Jalen, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. So looking back on like the history of the NFL, a lot of people, not a lot of people come through it with your kind of power at your size, 6'2", 290, but some that come to mind are obviously your mentor, Aaron Donald, and guys like John Randall. Do you kind of use that as fuel and as a chip on your shoulder, knowing that you can make a real impact at the position and to kind of pave the way for more guys your size who might not be as tall, but have that strength and have that power?
You know, definitely. I mean, I feel like those guys before me have already paved the way, and it's the new D tackles. You know what I mean? I mean, the people that I study from John Randall and Aaron Donald. You know, I study Grady Jarrett a lot, Kenny Clark, Gino. All of those dudes are my height, and most of them wear 97. So, you know, I study those dudes a whole lot, and I just as a whole.
We'll give the last one to Agustin Esposito from No Huddle, Argentina.
Can't hear you.
Still muted, so we'll go to Gonzalo Fabry with No Huddle.
I think you're on mute.
Hey, here Gonzalo from Argentina. I want to ask you who is your role model at the professional level?
Aaron Donald. When I came there, you know, I wore number 55 in high school and then Little League, Pop Warner days. But you know, when I got in high school and I was studying Aaron Donald, you know, since he had all those tackles versus Georgia Tech, and he tackled the running back and the quarterback versus Duke, you know, that was one of the guys that I mimicked. I remember what color shirt he had on when he got drafted. That's always been one of the guys that I mimicked. So when I came to Pitt and Paris Ford introduced me to him, you know, I just tried my hardest to work with him as much as I can.
All right, Jalen, we're very appreciative of your time today. Congrats on all your success, and it was good seeing you again, man.
Good seeing you guys too, and I appreciate it. God bless. Hail to Pitt.
Thanks, Jalen.
Yes, sir.
I think Paris Ford, I believe, is going to be our next guest.
Thank you so much. Great work today.
Straight. Okay.
There he is. Paris, appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
We'll go ahead and open up for questions, and we'll start off with Jerry DePaula from the Pittsburgh Tribune.
How you doing, Paris? Nice day today. I was just wondering how difficult was your midseason decision to leave the team there after the Notre Dame game?
Definitely extremely hard leaving my brothers, but it's in the past now, and I just let God handle what He handles.
We'll go ahead, John McGonigal, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Yeah, Paris, what were you kind of looking to prove today, and do you feel like you did that out there, whether it was in the 40 or other drills that you were able to participate in?
I feel like I had I wouldn't say a great day. I said decent day. Probably wish I could have done a few things better, but the proof is in the pudding now, and yeah.
Good. Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Paris, you seem to be such a results guy on the field. Like, are these, not that these days are annoying, but is it something where you just want to show them, hey, look at my film, I can hit? It's not as much about these type of things?
Well, this stuff been going on for over 100 years now, this combine stuff. So I just do what I'm told to do, and film speaks for us. But you know, they want to see all that other stuff. So
Christopher Carter, DK Pittsburgh Sports.
Paris, can you talk about that challenge, though? Because you were a guy that made a lot of plays in the field. You know, you made your presence felt. Even when you may not get a stat, it was like obvious, like, hey, Paris was, you know, he helped save this play. And then you come out, you know, how does that, when you're talking to NFL teams, how does that translate in those conversations? When they say, hey, you know, maybe we wanted you to see a better 40 time, but we see this on tape that we really like.
Well, like I said, the proof is already in the pudding. Now the coaches, it's just balls in their court now, I guess. I mean, they're going to judge on what they judge on and talk it over as a staff. I mean, I know I gave my 100% all, and that's all I can really do.
Go Rich Walsh, KDK.
Rich.
Hey, Paris, how you doing, man?
Doing Rich.
Can you you just talk a little bit about, you know, the draft is almost here. What's this whole process? You almost have a chance to get drafted. What's that feel like for you and your family?
It's crazy. I can be the first one in my family to create generational wealth. I've been working for this moment since I was 5 years old. I mean, this is really all I know. And it's surreal, man. I mean, it's really surreal. I mean, I can't put it into words how I really feel inside, but I'm excited. Really excited.
Good. Brian Batgo, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Paris. Good to see you again. You played here in high school. You played here in college. You know, the Steelers have lost a couple guys in the secondary. I mean, is being drafted by them something that would be exciting to you, or you almost like had kind of like to maybe, you know, see another part of the country and get to do this in another city after all this time?
I know they better build a monument of me here if I stay here. So now I'm just joking. I mean, it doesn't matter where I go, man. I mean, there's 32 teams. I just hope to get one opportunity. That's all I feel like I need.
Go ahead, Amanda.
Paris, good to see you. Can you name some of the teams that you may have spoken to already?
I never was a social media guy. I only got that, to be honest, because of what I do. Like, if you know me, you know me. But I would say I talked to a lot of teams so far throughout this process. Main teams, I would say probably the Saints, Chiefs, Seahawks, and Ravens. And that's really like the main teams I've really been talking to. But I talked to just about everyone.
Good. Matt Baker in Tampa.
What are teams asking you about the decision to opt out, and what are you telling them?
I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry. What are teams asking you about the decision to opt out and leave in the middle of the year, and what are you telling them?
Yeah, what I told everyone else. I mean, family reasons, personal reasons. Me and Coach Doozy talked about it, and we felt like it was best for the team and myself.
We're good. Thomas Carr.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, bro. I can't hear you now.
Rich Walsh, did you have another question? No, your hand stories.
I can. Okay, I'm good. Paris, you talked about, you had a decent day today. How much stock do you put into these pro days compared to what you've done? I know you said the proof's in the pudding, but I mean, you've made a ton of plays out there. You think teams would look at that more than a 40 time that you might not be happy with?
I would hope, because at the end of the day, I mean, football is football. As cliche as it sounds, that's the truth.
We'll do two more.
Pro day, you're already getting questioning why you did what you did in your lifespan. What has this showed you to prepare yourself for some of the scrutiny that you're going to face on the NFL level?
Man, it's a business. The NFL is like a non-stop factory. It's a non-stop machine. I mean, they don't stop for no one. I mean, I guess I got to adapt fast. So.
I think Thomas Carr said he has his audio back. We'll go back to him for the last one.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got it.
Awesome, great. Hey, I just wanted to ask, your play style and your instincts on the ball and all that, clearly an advantage for you. How do you talk to teams, or how do you, in your mind, ride the line between aggressive and then maybe taking chances or something like that with the ball?
That goes off natural feel, I guess. Like I said, the coach is coach. I just play. I mean, whatever they see, and whatever they coach me up on is what I try to critique my game as. But other than that, like I said, coach is coach. I just play.
All right, Paris, we appreciate your time today. Best
Thank
of
you.
luck going forward. It's good to see you.
Thanks, OJ.
Take it easy. Let's see, we got DJ Turner on deck. Paris might have closed us out there. You know, refire it up there. Give us a minute. All right, so we're back with DJ Turner. DJ, good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. How everybody doing?
Doing well. We appreciate your time today, and we'll go ahead and open it up with Jerry DePaula, Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
DJ, how you doing today? Good job today. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I was just wondering, there was some talk after the season you were thinking about coming back to Pitt next season. How close were you to coming back, and how difficult was the decision?
I was really close. Took a little bit of time just to like kind of reflect on the decision, like without anybody else's opinion. And then I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it would probably be best for me to kind of move on. While a pretty good season, I just thought that it'd be, beneficial for me to kind of be able to take care of my family and everybody around me if I made the move to jump to the league. So.
Good. Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, DJ, do you feel like today was a good day in that regard, that you were able to show some things that maybe you weren't able to on tape?
Yeah, for sure. I've been hearing a lot of positive feedback. I feel confident in what I did today and being able to kind of showcase some things that what's shown on tape is what's shown on tape, and then you go out here today to kind of show how athletic you are a little bit, talk to people, kind of let them get to know you a little bit better, and I feel like I did a good job overall, helped myself out a lot.
Go ahead, Amanda.
Hi, DJ. When you began training, was there any specific area you were trying to improve upon in preparation for today's drills?
Yeah, definitely an emphasis on top end speed. I'm trying to show people that I can actually run, and just my overall game at receiver, like being able to get in and out of my breaks on my routes and catch the ball clean, kind of showing that I could benefit the team playing outside receiver as well. That was probably the biggest thing that I feel like people were questioning, and I feel like I did a pretty good job today doing that. And shout out to all my people. To my people I trained with down in Test for that. They helped out a lot.
Go to Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Hey DJ, did I 23 reps? Did I catch that right?
Yeah, you got that right.
That's I mean, you're not the biggest guy in the world. That's a pretty impressive total there. How do you feel like that that helps you, and especially as a guy that you talked about playing outside, but has obviously primarily played in the slot. I mean, you get to play with linebackers a lot in there. You feel like that strength is necessary?
Most definitely. I mean, in the NFL, it's a grown man league, so you got to come with it every play. I feel like my strength is definitely going to help me out a lot in the slot going against some of those bigger linebacker bodies, or the safety bodies as well. Some pretty big safeties in the league, and then definitely on the outside, just getting off a press, being able to use my hands, kind of work DBs that way. I feel like my strength will kind of give me the advantage in that area.
We'll go to Wesley Brown next.
Hey DJ, it's sort of obviously been a big year for you personally. You know, making the move from Maryland to Pitt with this NFL draft stock in mind and all that. I guess how, in your view, how did this year play out for you, and sort of how important was it to make this move?
I feel like it played out well. Definitely, some games I surprised myself, and some games I feel like there was a lot of players left on the field. But overall, I think this season definitely helped me out a lot when it comes to moving forward to the next level. I got to show some versatility and had some big games that kind of show that I'm productive. And I mean, it played a big part. Like I said, like I feel like I kind of gained a lot of momentum going towards the end of the season and trying to hit the iron while it's hot. Like I was hearing a lot of good things, and thanks to the guys here at Pitt, they helped me make the right decision.
We'll do two more. We'll go John McGonigal with the Post-Gazette.
Yeah, DJ, you mentioned the bench press and doing that with uplifting athletes and reps for rare diseases and everything. How much did that mean to you to be a part of that today?
I mean, it was big. Like just to help that cause as much as I can. Like I got some family members or some friends that's been affected by rare diseases and had some family members affected by rare diseases. So just trying to keep them in mind while I was working. I mean, I knew I would do good, so that's why I picked that event. So I could kind of get things going on that. So I'm looking forward to helping that out as much as I can. I mean, I don't know if you know, but we actually reached our goal, kind of blew it out the water as well. So hopefully we could keep donating and we can help out as much as possible.
Go ahead, Mateus Orneas in Brazil.
Good afternoon, DJ. Mateus from Brazil. Congratulations for your pro day. And this is a question that is maybe a little different. We have a class on the draft that have a lot of good receivers, a lot of guys that can do a lot. What do you think is your biggest quality or skills that the teams can look and see hey, no other guys or just few guys can
mismatches with linebackers or safeties, nickels, whoever comes down to check me. And then I also you got to factor in my return ability as well. I'm also a dynamic returner. I feel like every time I get a chance to get a return, it could hit for a home run. And I mean, a lot of people don't have that ability. So just trying to get teams to see that and hopefully get into a system where I can fit in and do all those things and help out as much as I can. So,
Brian, back to the last one. Brian, you want the last one?
Yeah, DJ, just wanted to ask you, in addition to being here in Pittsburgh, you played for Matt Canada at Maryland. You played a year with Dino Tomlin. How much does that maybe help to have those connections, especially for a guy like you who doesn't have the production or maybe the big name of some of the other prospects in this class?
It helps out a lot. Matt Canada, like he knows me on a personal level. We literally in the meeting room every day together. So he knows what I could bring without the production. Like he was more confident in me than I was in myself at the time in Maryland. So it's big. Him, even with Coach Tomlin, like I see Coach Tomlin all the time in the parking lot. We talk for a while. And just having those connections is always big. Connections is always big, especially moving to the next level. And then again with like Coach Beatty moving up, and I got a couple other coaches that coached me in college that are moving up. They could kind of speak for one, my ability, and also speak on my character as well. So it definitely helps out a lot.
All right, DJ, we appreciate your time today. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and best of luck moving forward, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
And our next guest will be Jason Pinnock. Congrats on the big day, Jason.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us.
Recognize me.
What's that?
I said, I don't know if y'all recognize me.
I know. It'll look a little bit different. We'll go ahead to Jerry DePaula for the first question.
Jason, congratulations on a good day. You were out there performing like you had a chip on your shoulder, did you?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was. I think I seen it on social media. It's a lot of things that I felt like I should have been at or invited to, but what. That's politics or whatever.
Still not getting the invite. Did that bother you? And what were your expectations for today? Were you expecting to get 39.5 or 40 in the vertical and putting out the numbers that you did?
It was definitely, as far as invitations to your questions, it was definitely somewhat disappointing, but I really, like you said, it wasn't a real combine. I didn't really care for it. I was just surprised of the people who were invited and not including myself. As far as numbers, kind of fell short, probably basically everything. I wanted 40. I wanted 41 for the vert. I wanted 11 on the broad. I wanted 4.43 on the 40. I wanted 6.6 on the L. I never ran anything over 6.65 the past 3 months, but the numbers are what they are. I'm excited for them, and I'm happy they came out the way they did.
Go ahead, Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Yeah, Jason, I guess two kind of questions here. One is, like, how much have you talked to Dane about what he went through last year? I know he was kind of in the same position where, like, he didn't necessarily get invited to everything, and I feel like he made a pretty strong name for himself in his rookie year. And then, how much do you feel like, as a corner that, did a lot of one thing at Pitt, you basically play quarters on every play. How much do you feel like proving your athleticism is important for teams that maybe do something else that are trying to project you into a different scheme and a fit for them?
Right. I mean, you basically said it. It's about proving I could do other things than press man. I want to show that I can go get the ball at the highest point, higher than any other corners in this draft. As far as answering your questions towards Dane, me and Dane's talked in depth for a while, throughout the process, and even here yesterday while watching the young guys practice spring ball, their day two, and just talking about doing what I do, and that's having fun, man. Just have fun, do this. I already do the numbers. I have great numbers, been testing well since high school. And he's like, bro, just have fun. Only difference is people and cameras. So.
Go ahead, Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Jason, was that a tough decision what to do? Was that?
Nah, it wasn't tough, man. It wasn't tough. It was something I was thinking about, and this is about the time frame I was going to do it right during training. Just something different, man, something different.
What do you think your versatility is at the next level? What are you telling teams about what you can do at the next level?
I feel like I've done a lot, man. I thank Coach Bates every day for it. I've been able to do a little safety, a little outside linebacker in our third down packages, a drop middle of the field, blitz off the edge, B-gap penetrator, played in the slot, check nickels, played on the outside, played in the boundary, played to the field, played, and then special teams, played jammer. Got even snuck in a couple gunner reps. I'm versatile, man. I can do a lot. I'm a long corner that can go get the ball.
Good, Nick Faribault.
Hey, Jason. So you are a very traitsy corner, as we have seen today. There's a lot of guys that are traitsy, coming raw, and never fully develop. Kind of what are you doing to develop as a cornerback, develop all your traits? And most importantly, is there someone you watch that really helps you, as the type of corner you are?
First part of the question, the things I do, all the things that they think big corners can't do, which is bend. I have great flexibility. I work on my hips a lot, hamstrings, quads, abductors. I work on my body a lot. I do a lot of stretching, do a lot of PT. Even when I'm healthy, I just want to feel even better or maintain that health. And then the other question, everybody asks me always, Richard Sherman, though. Richard Sherman. Just his knowledge of the game and what he does outside the game. And I've probably been breaking him down play by play since about 2017, 2016, since I got to college.
Go ahead, Amanda.
Hey, Jason, sorry about that. I know you said you weren't completely pleased with some of your numbers today. You wanted a little bit better, but are you still happy that with your performance and you went out and showed what you're capable of to some that you think may have been sleeping on you?
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of, even my people is like kind of joke with me and like, they still sleeping. But the thing is, the people who will draft me and the people who actually have a say in where I go, they not sleeping. So it's more so just the media. So it doesn't really stress me out, but I'm sure they're awake.
Brian Batgo, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Yeah, Jason, like we've talked about, I mean, you're 6 foot, you ran pretty well, you jumped really well, you have production on the ball in college. What are your weaknesses as a player? Where do you need to improve for the next level?
Everything. I'm always to say everything because that's what I work on. Now it's just finally time to get to the football aspect of things, get back to footwork things, whether that's tackling angles, all those type of things that I like to work on, real football. And then I'm just so happy to get back to real football and kind of outside the drill things.
Go ahead, Mateus with Timeout Brazil.
Good afternoon, Jason. Mateus from Brazil. We have a lot of guys that have to develop a lot when they go to the NFL. And we have, during the process, a lot of pointing fingers that the problems that you might have. What's you think that's your biggest weakness doing for this process and like the skills that you have developed like most and fastest for adapted to the NFL?
As far as I would say off man, kind of just like, I'm not sure who just asked me, but the things we do at Pitt is so
that's what we do, press man. So I've worked a lot with Clay Mack. A lot of people in the industry know who that is. Great DB specialist down in Dallas, Texas. Even got a couple one-on-one sessions with him. Just been working a lot of off man, pedaling, breaking. Because we live lateral here. We live laterally. We play press man. So definitely, it was uncomfortable at first, but definitely been way better at it and been improving. Excited for the rest of the off season.
We'll give the last
Thanks
one.
a lot.
We'll give the last one. John McGonigal, Pittsburgh Post.
Yeah, Jason, what teams have you been hearing from most throughout the process prior to today? And look, how important do you think today was in terms of maybe boosting your stock, boosting how those scouts and coaches and execs view you?
Yeah, so this day was tremendously important, especially without combine and throughout the process, and we kind of gauged it towards that. I attended the CGS where I was able to get some position work on film. Go through that, and then as far as teams, it's been Bengals, Jaguars, 49ers, Chargers, and Jets. It's probably the highest, I would say. Most frequent, I should say.
All right. Well, Jason, we appreciate your time today. Congrats on an awesome pro day, and best of luck moving forward.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jason. And I think that'll wrap up our player guests for today, but we're going to get Coach Narduzzi here, so stand by for a minute. Nope. So Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi will be joining us soon to wrap up this Pro Day media availability. If you do have a question for Coach Narduzzi, go ahead and raise your hand now. We'll get to as many as we can.
RJ, do you know if 40 is a Pitt record?
I can't confirm that, but I saw somebody said there was less than 20 people all time at the combine that have done it, but I don't know if we have a Pro Day record book. And Coach is joining us now.
Hey, can we put faces on here, EJ? I'd rather see faces. I don't need to see my face. That's for sure. You can make it more people. I see Brian Batgo up there. I see an old Pitt guy, new Steeler guy. How we doing, gentlemen?
All set. Coach, thanks for joining us.
No problem. No problem. Missed you guys at Pro Day this year. Hopefully, I'm trying to talk EJ into getting our local guys to come out and watch practice, even if it's from the balcony there, like the Steelers do. But questions?
We'll go ahead to Jerry DePaula. Start us off.
Pat, I know there's more to your program than what happens on draft day, but what would it mean if, like some people are saying, you have to get 9 guys drafted over that weekend?
That would be unbelievable. You know, it's all about development in our program and developing players. You know, our coaches do a heck of a job teaching our kids, and we've done a great job recruiting. So it's a point of respect for our program and what we've done as far as players, and certainly you'd like to have a lot more Aaron Donalds, but we got a great group of players that worked out today. 16 of them. I was just as impressed with our 19 guys and what they did. I think it's even harder coming from 2019 and coming here a year later and doing a great job. I mean, Amir Watts was impressive, I thought. But you know, I think Amir Watts is going to be in a camp, but you know, it's why you coach, to give these kids opportunities at the next level. And it would be a great credit to our recruiting department and our coaching staff and everything we do here at the University of Pittsburgh.
Go ahead, John McGonigal, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Yeah, Pat, how was it having Jalen and Paris back in the facility, around the building, around the guys, and within that atmosphere?
It was awesome. Again, it was great to get every one of those back. Those guys are families. Family guys are guys we love. And, you know, it's great to get Salim Brightwell, everybody back. I mean, you know, I don't know how often it happens. I had a few scouts today talk to me about, you know, they didn't, go to any other pro days and have the 19 guys have an opportunity to be at pro day. And I think that's the family we have. So whether they, played last season or not, whether they opted out or not, it doesn't matter. They're ours. They're our kids, they're our players, and they're forever Panthers.
I could follow that up with Jalen's 40 on the bench. Were you surprised at all by that?
Well, the bench didn't surprise me at all. It all depends on trainers. He's been away from us for a year. I can't say I'm shocked by it. I think it was a slow turf. I think if you guys walked out there, you guys could step on that turf and probably stand there for a lot longer during the day than you could in the past. So I think it was a slow turf. So I think anybody ran a 4.46 or 4.45 might have, possibly running a 4.3. So I think it was a slow surface because it's really soft. But it comes down to being a football player. I think the tape will speak for themselves. I know everybody loves to have the 40 time and the vertical and all those in the bench press. But, you know, when Jalen went through and ran through the defensive drills, the D-line drills with Coach Partridge and Joe Cullen for the Jaguars, he looked like that's what he does. He's a football player.
Good. Alan Saunders, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Hey, Pat, two quick questions. First one is, you know, how much do you as a coaching staff take pride in the fact that of these guys that are potentially or probably or almost definitely going to get drafted, that very few of them were kind of seen when they came into your program as kind of can't miss? You know, you don't have any 5-star guys. You only have a couple, like maybe Paris and DeMar, were like 4-star guys, but some of these other guys were a lot less heralded, and you've been able to get the best out of them and turn guys and put those guys in a position to succeed. And then second, how much do you feel like your position alongside the Steelers there helps prepare your guys for the NFL?
You know, I'll start with the last part of that question. You know, I don't know if the Steelers are going to help, you know, get your guys ready for the NFL. It's nice to look over there. You know, sometimes I think it makes your guys start to drift towards, hey, I want to be over there playing with them instead of locked into what they should be doing. It's going to get you there. So, you know, to me, it's a great scene. Coach Tomlin's my favorite NFL head coach. That guy's the guy. And happy birthday to him this week. But, you know, it's not going to develop them. What develops them is our coaches, our players, and our system. And I think that's the important thing. And again, I've said this, you know, every recruiting year, you know, talk about, oh, we got a great recruiting class and all that. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay. It's how hard are they going to work? How coachable are they? How knowledgeable are they? And that will take you a long run. I'd rather have that smart guy that's going to do everything the right way, and he'll play in the NFL because he does all the little things right, as opposed to the 5-star guy that's not going to do, you know, all the detailed things right. But our coaches develop our players, and our system and our culture develops players to go to the NFL, and that's my goal as a head football coach. You'd like to win every football game, but ultimately you want to, you know, try to give these kids opportunities. That's what's going to, you know, carry them on for the rest of their life. So our job is to put them in position to make plays on the field, and then physically get them where they are, and developing them in the offseason. What Coach Stacchiotti's doing this offseason is important, okay? And do you see it that next year? No, but it's year after year after year. The development in the weight room, the development in those classrooms and on the field with your position coaches are critical. And that's what it's all about. And every day, and we talk about getting 3% better. I mean, you get 3% better every day for a year, and then 2 years and 3 years, you've gotten a lot better. So those stars really don't matter. And you know, and all those recruiting things, you know, that's why they call us coach, Alan. It's our job to develop football players. That's our job. And we're not always going to get that elite guy, 5-star guy. We're going to take what we got, and we're going to mold them. We're going to make them bigger. We're going to make them stronger. We're going to make them faster. And I know that's a cliche. We're going to make them smarter. I mean, we're going to coach these guys, and it's the fine details of whether it's a back pedal, a press technique, you know, a blitz, you know, a block up front, you know, a throw or route running, or your ability to make plays with the ball in your hand after you catch it or run it. That's what it's all about.
We'll go to Amanda next.
Hi, Pat. The group of guys today, these are guys that you recruited, guys you've coached for the last 4 or 5 years. What does it mean to you to watch so many of them standing on the precipice of a professional career? And is it like a little bit more special just because you've been through the whole shebang with this group of guys?
You know, it's special no matter what. You know, I wish I was here for an Aaron Donald Pro Day. It's special whether it's for 1 year, okay, whether it was our first year here, or, you know, or the sixth year. I mean, it's fun either way. It's, you know, you helped him get there, even if it was for 1 year. DJ Turner didn't have as productive a career at Maryland as he had maybe all of his years there together as he did in 1 year. That's our job, is to put him in position to make plays. And again, it doesn't matter 1 year, 3 year, 4 years, 6 years, which will be Trey Tipton, maybe 7 years next year for Trey at Pro Day. But you take satisfaction that you helped him get to that point. And it's, you know, Pro Day is huge. I mean, you know, the sad part is the season ends, whether it's after a bowl game or after a COVID final season, and the kids leave you, okay, and you lose your children, okay, and then all of a sudden they come back for this day. And we had a nice lunch yesterday together, and it's just bringing your teammates, your players back, and And I love each and every one of those guys. And to have them back is fun. And, and it sounds like a lot of them are hanging out here for the next few weeks again, which is outstanding. It's like they're going to be here working out with Coach Stacchiotti, and that's what we want. That's the family atmosphere we have at Pitt. That's our guys, and that's what it's all about. It's awesome. It's fun to watch them out there today. Enjoyed it, and you're praying for each one of those last night, just hoping that they have a great day, and each one of them really did in their own way.
Jeff Hathorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Pat, obviously the numbers can be important for these guys, but how about those conversations you have with scouts and coaches? How much can that help a player?
It can help a bunch. They're out there taking notes, and, I got them before the whole thing started. They're not going to ask any questions because nobody wants to give out secrets. Okay. But the little things, the guys that take the time, the really good ones are going to pull you aside, grab you. I mean, Phil Kreider grabbed me, I won't, reveal any of the information there, but grabbed me. He was like, Coach, I got a question for you. Pull me over. Again, the guys that do a detailed job like Phil, they want to know everything. And again, anybody that doesn't try to grab the head coach's ear at the pro days, because I got to be honest with you, I don't get many phone calls, okay, because they know the head coach is going to, it's like, anytime I try to hire a receiver coach or linebacker coach, everybody's got a resume, and then they have the references at the bottom, okay, or on the third page or whatever it is. And I never call the references because I know all the references are going to tell them good stuff. And I'm always going to tell people good stuff but it's all the inside little bits and stories. I'll tell you a Rashad Weaver and Patrick Jones story, and some of the scouts are like, whoa, I've never heard of that before. And I've never heard of it either as a coach, but they go down to the Senior Bowl, they call Coach Partridge a couple of days before they go down to the Senior Bowl, and they're like, Coach, can you send us all the offensive tackles that are going to the Senior Bowl on both teams so we can watch videotape? They want to study the game. They want to study that guy. What's he do well? Is he susceptible to a speed rush, bull rush, inside move? How's his hands? Is he going to punch early, punch late? All the details that they've learned with Coach Partridge, they're now taking it on. I got that, And so it's all those little stories. Like some of the scouts, when I tell them that story, they're like, oh my God, I love that, because they're students of the game. And that's the important part.
Good. Brian Batgo, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Pat, kind of along those same lines, it's a unique year for the draft in that there were so many players who opted out of college football last year. I've seen some NFL execs say that made the Senior Bowl more important. I've seen some say, I think Kevin Colbert even said, if there's two guys that are close, maybe you go with the guy who played more recently. How many questions have you been getting about that? And do you expect to get more about that as teams just try to do their due diligence on players they haven't seen in a while?
I think they'll make their own determinations as far as who opted out, how to hurt them. I do know this, and we highly recommend guys not to opt out. I mean, it is hard to play the game of football. It's not like basketball. It's not like baseball where you can go out have batting practice and you don't need anybody else. You can hit it out in the outfield. We don't know if they caught it or not. But football is a hard game to play by yourself. Okay, you can get a pickup game and get Jerry and the boys to come play at your court, and maybe we'll go to Jerry's court. But it's hard to play football. It's a team game, and it's something you can't train for. And some of our guys did an outstanding job of training for the drills. And everybody's got a different trainer, so you just don't know where they're going and what's going to happen. But that's the situation there. So hope I answered your question there.
Good. Nick Farabaugh.
Hey, Coach Narduzzi, Damar Hamlin, when a lot of people talk about him around Pitt, it's also not just what he does on the field, but what he does off it. He's a leader. A lot of players mention that. What about Damar makes him just such a special player and prospect overall?
Damar is special. He had a great day today. I say he made a lot of money today, in just really every respect. But what makes Damar special is, first of all, I'll say his family. His mom and dad are supportive of him. They've helped him. They've raised him the right way. They've helped him and really just taking him, all the way to Pitt when he got here as a freshman. And, DeMar is so smart, Nick. I mean, he's so smart. And to me, that's what makes great players. And I kind of start off by talking about the intelligence part. He is so smart. He knows what's going on ahead of time. And again, 40 time doesn't really matter. Your bench press doesn't matter. When you have knowledge, and we talk about it all the time. That word is up all over our building. DeMar is a smart guy that knows what's going on. He knows what he's doing. He knows what the opponent's going to do most of the time, and obviously he's athletic enough and fast enough to go make plays. So he's just a tremendous person and tremendous student of the game.
We'll go to Christopher Carter, DK Pittsburgh Sports.
Hey, Pat. Sorry if this got asked already. I've been juggling a few things here, but I wanted to ask about Jason Pinnock. One thing is you said, we were just talking about you earlier this week, is you put your corners on islands. You're proud of that, and he does very well. He had some very impressive numbers today. What can you say about his journey? You've seen him grow so much, and what you saw from him today, and how proud are you of him?
Yeah, obviously really proud of Jason, and like I said, everybody's got a different avenue and a different path, and we do put those guys on island, Chris, and you are the sharpest dressed guy today too, by the way. But I couldn't be happy for Jason. It's like you knew coming in the day. And again, some guys, testing is a testing, and football is football. Let's get that straight. So some guys are going to test really well. Some guys aren't going to test as well. But when you talk football players and testing, two different things. And like Ford is a football player. He ain't going to test real well sometimes. And, again, the turf, whatever it is. But when you look at Jason Pinnock, I knew if you said, tell me one guy that the scouts are going to go, who was that guy? I was in the locker room with Chris Ash, old head coach at Rutgers, and now he's a secondary coach with the Jaguars. I said, we're kind of walking through the locker room there because he had to go to the restroom. And I said, I want to introduce you to somebody. Like I said, you got to meet this guy because you're going to notice him out there, and you're going to say, Coach, why didn't you talk about this guy? But he had an unbelievable day, but it doesn't shock me. Probably almost 40-inch vertical jump, ran a 4.4, catches the ball well. He's a football player, and in the right system, that guy's going to, that guy made some money today as well. And, I'm happy for Jason. He's a super kid, and he's really smart too. Another guy that's really smart, and we all have our ups and downs during seasons, and we have our good plays and our bad plays, but that guy's a really good football player, and he's a really good student of the game as well.
We'll go back to Jerry for our last one.
Pat, you sort of, I was thinking of this question for a while, but you sort of mentioned it already. Who was the one guy today that had the NFL scouts running to you saying, Pat, tell me more about this guy?
Well, they knew about a lot of guys. So probably Jason Pinnock, I would say, if I had to say one, because they know who Patrick Jones and Rashad Weaver and Jimmy Morrissey. They knew about those guys that played in the Senior Bowl, were invited to the Combine, are All-Americans. And I'd probably say him and DJ Turner, probably, the other guy. And I'd also say Amir Watts. Like I said, I think Amir Watts did some great things for himself. Those would be three guys that you got a lot of questions, like, tell me about this guy.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Coach, appreciate
Anybody
it.
else got anything else? Don't let RJ cut you off. If someone's got – we don't get to do this very often, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Then we got
how's practice going?
We can't talk practice. 2 short stays, Jerry. 2 short stays. It's going good so far. I know EJ's probably going to be mad if I start talking about practice because he's like saving that for another day. He's got his little plan. But we had 2 days of shorts. Tomorrow we go pads, so it gets real tomorrow. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit. But I've been impressed with a lot of guys. And again, it's, tomorrow is hump day. Okay. Hump day. We get over number 3 and we get to number 4. We're one day better than last year. So every day is so important. And, I want to make sure our guys stay safe, with COVID. And, I saw Boise shut things down today. Or yesterday, we talked about the Ohio State shutting down for a little bit, and I don't know if they're back up and running, but I don't want to lose a day. We need the development. We need every second, every period we can get during practice, and I think that's going to be the important thing. So it's going well so far. We're healthy after 2, but we're in shorts, and the pads go on, and tomorrow will be fun, and we don't do much changing of the depth chart until the pads go on because. It's a real evaluation. We're out there trying to, evaluate off of shorts, and man, he looked good there. Tailback's running through clean. Nobody's tackling him. And our guys have done a great job of being smart and not trying to be the hero and tackle a guy in shorts.
All good.
Did anybody, there's some drills that don't necessarily really apply to what guys do. I mean, you got who cares what your quarterback's broad jump is or what your offensive lineman's 40 time is. But did anybody surprise you with something maybe outside of what is generally considered to be their athletic specialty today?
Not really. I mean, look at Jimmy Morrissey, I think had like a 32-inch vertical jump. I mean, it was kind of pretty explosive for an offensive lineman. I think he vertical, maybe hired some of the skill guys that were there. So that's impressive. But, the testing that, doesn't necessarily show up on the field. So I don't know what the correlation is there. You want as an NFL club and president, GM, and head football coach, you want as many great athletes as you can get. And, obviously all the testing will show you what type of explosive athlete they are. But I don't know if I answered your question, but there's just, there's so many things they look at. And I think the number one thing is watch them on the field, watch them play the game of football. When the ball snapped between the white lines is really what matters. And, this is, I talk about shorts practices the last 2 days. And then when you go out there, it's just like, it's a timing day. It's a finesse day. It's and it comes down to sometimes who got the best trainer. Did you have the best football trainer or did you have the best combine trainer? Okay. And combine results and football results are two different things. And the football results will show up in August and September for some of these guys.
I can make a question, if it's okay.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Coach Pash, here's Matheus from Brazil. It's a great honor to talk to you. Here in Brazil, we have a totally different football play. Like we are like amateur level. And during this COVID season in Brazil, like we basically don't have nothing of football. And how was for like the college, for the Pitt, for like work with the guys, like all the problems that you have, you can go for the field, now you can. And how was all that process? I know that maybe you have talked about that like thousands of times. This is the first time and I can talk to you. Appreciate.
Bring all your good players over here, okay? Come to Pittsburgh. We got a lot of jobs. The economy's outstanding. We got great high school coaches. Bring all your young guys over here so I don't have to travel too far to find them. But it obviously wasn't easy. It was a challenging season. It was a challenging, summer, leading into this fall. But we're fortunate at the University of Pittsburgh to have some of the best medical help in the country. I think UPMC, which is, the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center here on our campus, here in the city of Pittsburgh, gave us a huge advantage. We were able to keep our kids safe and still play the game we love. And I think that's the critical thing. And I think it was rough early when you talked, June, July, and August. And I think our kids had a lot of question marks as far as what's going on. We're not going to play a season. There's no way we're going to be able to do this. And, as the leader and head coach, we were just persistent and got everybody going in the right direction. And I felt more like a traffic guard. And as far as just making sure, the masks were on, we were, socially distanced in our building, and we try to do things as safely as possible. And that's kind of how we were able to pull a season off. So it can be done. Some people do it better than others. And it just comes down to the details, and we try to focus on the details. Great question.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
You got it. Anything else? I'm here. You got me here. I see you guys from Argentina. Quiet today.
Pat, I'll ask you more about DJ Turner because you only had him for a year. But, he put up really good bench press numbers. He had a great year for you guys. He said he almost came back next year. He said, right. Yeah.
Thought we had him back. I thought he was going to come back, but, we're happy for him.
But just wanted to ask, what do you think that, if teams are looking at this guy and they say, man, he only had this 1 year, what do you think he can bring right away to someone's offense in the NFL?
I think, I had, he wasn't planning on doing this, but I had him go out and catch some jugs for punt return and kickoff return. So he went outdoors with some special teams guys in the back fields there, I guess, just to do some of those. I think he can bring a lot to the table. I knew we were getting a really good receiver. Obviously, he was very productive, but the thing he does when he's got the ball in his hand is special. I mean, you guys saw how he's built. He's got legs like a linebacker. He runs like a receiver. And the things he can do with the ball in his hand is the most impressive thing. He runs great routes. I mean, coaches were impressed with the route running and the soft hands and his ball skills. But then, he's got the element on special teams, and you don't really draft return guys. But when you look at what he can do on the field as a receiver, and then what he can also do in your return game, that was a surprise to me, and I think it'll be a surprise to a lot of NFL teams, is what he can do with the ball in his hand. Because is he maybe as slippery as a McLeod with Pittsburgh Steelers? No, but he's hard to get down because he's a running back with receiver skills.
Pat, how do you think Jalen projects best in terms of where on an offensive or on a defensive line, and within what system you think?
It's hard to say. I mean, I know talking to him a couple weeks ago, he was working with a 3-4 guy. I think he's a 4-3 defensive tackle. That's, in our system, that's what I think he is. Could he be a 3-4, 4 technique? Probably. Is he going to be a nose tackle in the NFL? I don't know. I don't know if he wants to get that big. I mean, there's some of those guys. He's not Saragusa, but Tony was a little bit bigger, a space eater in there. So I don't know as much about the 3-4 and what you want in that defense as I know in the 4-3, but there's a lot of things he can do. The thing about Jalen, he's so smart that he will master whatever they put him at. But he'll get drafted by the team. We'll find out if he goes to a 4-3 or a 3-4 team. And the thing about even the 3-4 teams, the 3-4 teams in the NFL, they're a 3-4 usually on, against, 2 tight end teams. And as soon as they spread it out, they're going to the 4 down like we are in our base. Okay. So I think, we're kind of different. We go to the 3-4 on 3rd down, and again, it's really not a 3-4 by numbers it is, but as far as, the style and what we're trying to get out of it isn't. But I think he can do a lot of different things. And the thing is, he'll master whatever they want him to do. And someone's going to draft a great football player, an incredible person, regardless. I mean, that's their decision to make where he's going to fit. But I think he's a 4-3 defensive tackle.
How do you see Jones and Weaver transitioning to outside linebacker?
Well, I think both of them can do that. They both stood up and played a little bit of linebacker. If you flipped on that Florida State game, so both of them can be 4-3 defensive ends. Both of them could be 3-4 edge rushers and probably designated rushers because of their pass rush ability. Both of them have the ability to be able to drop in coverage. Both are smart enough, very intelligent guys to be able to drop and understand where they're supposed to be. They'll study that part of the game, which they haven't had extensive knowledge in that. But, people would be crazy to drop either one of those guys off very often because they got to go hit the guy that's probably the most important player on the football team is that quarterback. And those guys are pass rush specialists.
Is 40 bench reps the most you've seen in person?
Yeah, I almost fell asleep watching them all. There's so many of them. It's like, is this thing almost over? Jalen he loves the bench now. He loves that bench press. And that was, I don't know what's the NFL record. I don't even know. I mean, it's got to be.
I think 49 is the NFL record.
All right, who did that?
I don't know.
But it's hard. I bet you there hadn't been 5 guys in the last 10 years get in the 40s. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't watch. I really don't care much about the bench press myself, but I know I only did I think I did 22, I think. Okay, put that in the record. Jerry, don't tweet that out. I'm just kidding. I did not. Okay, you'll go back and check the record. Jerry will tweet that stuff out. But 40 was, that's amazing, and he obviously got real excited about it too. Anything else?
Stephen Pye, Oregon State, 49.
49. Oh, you're Mr. Google over there.
All good.
Anything else? All right, guys. Hey, I about had enough of this Zoom stuff. I'd like to see all of you in person very, very soon. Okay, I'm doing whatever I can do. I'll come up and hug everybody because I'll be so happy to see you guys live here soon. So appreciate your time, appreciate your interest in our players, and hail to Pitt.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you all for joining us and for taking part in today's session. Much appreciated. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. We will send out this video to you all, and if you have any questions about that, or if you need us, if you're new to this group and you want to send us your email, feel free to do that. But we'll send out this clip whenever we can. And any final questions before we end the session?